Here's picked up by CR once more. Moya has been some good rounds for him on this bowler, so why not? This is now definitely the loss that we get to see of the semifinal number one. Crazy Raccoon once again with some last minute panic, just can't close it out. They get another chance in this one. Rival critical of a complete reverse sweep here though.
East Asia's leaderboard certainly in jeopardy right now, but nothing short of entertainment so far today from the region. A great start to our summer split as Milkrio and Tensai will cluster together. Moya from the distance, Yo-Yo in and out. Rival doing the same, just trying to use those magic pups, pairing now alongside the Max. This is a long time combination in Brawl Stars. You got the passive heals, the poke damage, plus the speed that will inevitably come through that Max.
Well, it's very left to right now. Tensai trying to pinch around the side, but just nobody making a move on this rival side. I think they're probably quite happy to wait until the late game at the moment, or wait at least until Gene gets a pull and they can start to make a move. But Milkrio hitting some good shots, and Utbin in a bit of jeopardy.
Tensai slowly charging up this super too as the heal goes out for Ryohi from that gadget, but a Hurricane available, going for the gadget as well. Love this choice in the combo. Look at all the cycling. It's a tropical storm on the right-hand side, and now a 3v1 situation. Gene gonna save this pool. Not a chance they want to waste this one going into the next.
I mean, that was a lot there. That was just super after super after super from Tensai, and a brilliant round brought back for CR when they've had such a tough couple of sets. Hypercharge ready for Moira as well, so even if Damien gets that super, they've got the answer to it. But a Gene pull is always a worry.
Yeah, Ryohi in a world of hurt right now because he doesn't have the distance to kind of go at these teams, so has to either rely on a pull from Gene or Max. But inevitably, they have to rely on a teammate. They can't go at the enemy side, and now a super valuable super go.
Is down to tank this out for the side of CR. Just a waiting game.
Yeah, waiting game is exactly what came to mind too. Rival just really biding at their time. Moya, of course, on defense has Spiderlings and also has the Cocoon ready to go, but the Fog going to force a fight. Ryohi has the super going at this right-hand side, traps all three enemies. Oh my goodness, Damien is just a problem. Sometimes it is that simple. Have super, click super, and especially as the Fog closed in, it was even easier to land that tag. So Rival, despite having a blunder in that round number one, now can excel. Ryohi going at it once again, 3v2 situation. I really like that Charlie pick on paper, but man, the Damien super is just too strong.
I mean, if you're kind of just wandering about on your own, you're going to be punished for it if you don't have your super as a Charlie there. So, real rough stuff now for CR, who started so well when it was actually kind of a skill matchup. And then it was kind of just Damien.
Yeah, Damien stars right now for sure, as Ryohi was really struggling off the rip. But the second he cycled in that super, it entirely changed each round. CR in a world of hurt in a 3v2 situation. Thankfully for them, they do have Tensai here does have a super available, and alongside that a purple, but Lord knows they're going to need it.
Yeah, absolutely. Tensai's going to need to absolutely pop off here. Same as Milkrio, he managed to get a super. Utbin still super in hand, waiting to try and get this pull off, but hasn't really needed to do too much so far, to be honest with you. Really goes super aggressive here, and Tensai throws out Hyper. Not going to get too much done with that. Milkrio pops one of his own, but a real nice split there as Utbin goes at the top, and Totoro stays down the bottom, so he can't get the value he wants. And that's going to be a match point to Rival.
Rival one away. Crazy Raccoon have been on a streak of grand finals. The Brawl Cup was the first time we've seen them stumble in a little bit. Now they return to Homeland, where it's seemingly easier, where they are sitting on the throne, and instead they're being challenged by an upstart in Rival. Longtime player Ryohi forced to join some new comrades this season, and they are certainly pushing CR to their limits right now.
Risky start, though, Totoro's so low, and Charlie can surely pinch around here. He has to phase shift away, and Ryohi now been left all alone. That should be a pinch in as well, but gets some heals off. Moya can't quite get the finishing blow just yet. Nice shots in, and Milkrio going for the pinch. There's Moya, but so low, gets the Cocoon, and that's going to put him in a real tough spot as well when he comes out with some follow-up shots. Totoro narrowly survives, but it gets picked up by Milkrio.
Yeah, I think they might have been running their slimy star power there too, so it was really going to trap them if they got the Cocoon, make it easier to land those tags, especially in a mode like this where you really want to grab those and secure them. It's a big deal, but this is exactly the same. CR are not out of the woods yet. We know exactly what happened. The second Damien gets this super, it entirely changes the game.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll be too far off for him, to be honest with you. He needs to find a couple more. You'd maybe want to make use of his pull. They're going to go hyper aggressive on Rio here to try and punish it. Moya gets the shots off. Here's Super in there as well. Spiderling's placing Tensai, just surviving. Super used. Surely going to be able to get the trade here and make it a 2v2, and that they do. Hypercharge used though, and that's a waste for the late game.
Yeah, I mean, the purple button being popped, I don't know if it was necessary, but it did allow the additional stats to ensure that they grabbed that kill. And you just can't afford to lose this one if you're CR. And I think they want to take this. If they go another one, it's just one step closer for Damien, who once again land a super on you, pin you, get the easy tags. I mean, I think they'd just rather leave this to the 2v2 chance.
Absolutely makes sense. Have to try and win this one. Or they're going to be in a lot of trouble with Damien having the possibility of making something happen. Probably won't step too far out of line again. I think he's learned his lesson now after a couple of rounds where he's kind of overextended. But a 2v2, super and hypercharge, sadly for CR on different people. As Milbury, I'm sure, would like his super now. Needs to plan some connecting shots and get some in there as well. Toro goes up, phase shift in. So that's going to be it as Uspin retreats to the gas.
Calm, cool, collected. CR still maintaining. Once they deal with Damien, it entirely changes this. I think, especially without a pull, with Gene on the back line, with Max able to do some damage, but not a ton of damage, difficult to bring those brawlers down, and especially in the context of those matchups, right? Here's somebody that can recycle ammo up close, easy to get those tags. And on top of that, if they pull something like a Charlie, even if they get that, Spiderlings, Cocoon, there was just no chance, I think it inevitably was going to land with Moya getting a kill at the end of the day. So really like this for the in-game situations, but unfortunately they lose a brawler rather early. That is quite the blunder if you're CR.
Yeah, have to try and get the trade now, but don't want to feed Rio here for further rounds as well. So it might be worth even sacking this one just to not have him have those supers. It doesn't seem like that's the case. We're staying quite an aggressive position trying to get supers.
Yeah, I need to be rather careful. I mean, this is definitely going to be a mind game here of how much utility do you truly want to charge. Rio, he's just going to flank on this L-shaped wall as Moya looks for the poke damage, going for the yo-yo around the corner, pull it back. It's kind of like a Carl pickaxe. Same mechanics that operate with that. Tensai dances, juking, looking for any tags he can get because those hurricanes are going to be so valuable. Finally charges one up with low HP. Curious if they get aggressive as Tensai pops the gadget, looking to cycle as many of these as possible. But Rival, gas pedal. It's going to be a super going down as now they're occupying the mid entirely.
There's one, goes up with another as well, makes it a 2v2 and a slight overextension for Rio. He does get punished. Pull there though, but Moya has a super of his own. Tensai dashing about, trying to stay mobile, but Moya gets pulled in at a max speed from Totoro. Should tie this one up, but Tensai gets some heals off, but will go down. That's going to be one round from a Rival win.
Heroic, but with no windmill gadget available in this one because of the choice of the other gadget, they just didn't really stand a chance once the pull landed. Moya couldn't quite get the tag, couldn't get the super off, didn't buy enough time. It was close, but not quite. Now I'm nervous for CR. Rival have a pull available, and Ryohei looming, waiting to use the super, and they're separating themselves too. They don't want to cluster up, but if they isolate themselves too, I think this is an easy Ryohei kill as well.
Yeah, it's really worrying here, especially Tensai on top. On his own, could pretty much get in a 3v1 situation if he overextends, so Ryohei going to keep an eye on that. Utapin with a pull as well, trying to go all in, just dashes out of the way, and that seems like a waste as well.
Yeah, maybe a waste, but I think if they land that, it could be GG, so I think at some point you just got to shoot your shot. Tensai has charged up the purple button super. This is something we have to look out for. Moya, of course, has the super as well. The Cocoon could be a large factor. A lot of chess pieces on the board. It's all about how they are moved. This Tensai makes his move now. The triple king going down. He's pulling at everybody, though. And Damien gets the kill. There's a Charlie Cocoon going down, but everybody just hoping their purple buttons. It's so close, but Rival now in a 3v1. They can spell it. A grand finals in the making. They've waited for 3 months in off-season 2, and we're even doing kickflips right now. What a celebration out of Rival.
It's definitely something. Utapin obviously very happy with this result and getting to the grand final, taking down Crazy Raccoon and opening up some good points for them for the overall leaderboard. Big win for them and massively deserved after all that perseverance.
Covered in the goosebumps, I'm celebrating with Rival here. We wanted to see a different team in the grand finals. This is the first time ever we get to see them this year, and I believe in the back, Spoo is probably celebrating as well, proud of his boys here. Crazy Raccoon, I don't know what's happening with them today. The duo up came close already in the quarterfinals to losing it to a pretty unknown team. Now Rival didn't really look like they could be a danger to them at all. Duo up again, and yeah, reverse sweep. What more can you say? Rival just really got the edge of them today.
Yeah, it just didn't feel like CR's sharpest day. And to your point, this felt like a really, I mean, let's just take set 5 alone, right? The reverse sweep is one thing, already catastrophic enough. But this felt super winnable to me. I really think on paper these matchups worked out pretty well, but maybe Damien is just too strong. Maybe they should have just rolled it out. Maybe that was the ultimate mistake here because they just got overwhelmed. They really focused on that. And this is just the definition of jumping for joy. I've never seen a celebration quite as funny as that one to me.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, I think you do have to just get rid of the Damien, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
when you're a team like CR who are coming into these games, they're probably coming into every game in this region as the favourites. You get rid of the things that are just stupidly good, so you don't have to play against them, because you're going to beat them in the majority of matchups when it's skill versus skill. And just unfortunately for them, Damien doesn't really require a lot of that.
And as I mentioned before, some teams decided to ban him throughout the scrims and the monthly qualifiers already. Rival has been one of the only teams to constantly leave Damien open. Yet again, also in this match, not being global banned, I expected Crazy Raccoon to ban him throughout the normal stage. And 2 out of 3 times that Rival was able to pick up Damien, it worked out for them. So they really, should have just got rid of him.
Yeah, strategy certainly in question, but a marquee victory for Rival Esports nonetheless. So we'll get a little mix-up in our grand final, another unique one for East Asia, and it's just been an excellent start. I mean, you can see it on the board, but several 3-2s on that top-hand side, and the lower side, I think, is 2-1. SKC versus Zeta, the third time they will be meeting on broadcast. It's 1-1 apiece, and I'm starting to believe in SKC, and after seeing Rival win as well, I think the underdogs might be due.
I knew there was going to be an upset today. I just backed the wrong team.
We all did. We all messed up.
Very true. Well, let's see how our predictions are going to go in the semi-finals today. Not looking too good for us, but honestly, I'm happy. I can only win if I vote for the obvious team because I'm rooting for the underdog. And this time around, the underdog actually came out on top, and we get a completely new grand finals entry. Are they also going to be our grand finals winner later today? That's going to be an exciting one because against SK Kalalas and also Zeta Division, I wouldn't want to be them right now. That's going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised that so many of you guys were going with SKC because this is normally one of those kind of cut and dry ones for me. I mean, Zeta are that team, in my opinion, but I rate it. I think that this is the day for underdogs. It really is. And it has been that all season long, hasn't it, really? So it could go either way. This one genuinely could be an SKC and Rival Grand Finals.
You're calling them the underdogs here, but if you remember what happened in the last monthly finals, it was the same exact thing. Zeta Division versus SK Kalalas in the semis, and SK Kalalas edged them out in a 3-2 series. It's gonna be a same match again. Semi-final number 2 today, SK Kalalas East Asia versus Zeta Division. Last time those two teams faced, it was a 3-2, but a super close one. Zeta Division just like Crazy Raccoon now actually, just couldn't quite close it out in the end. Now SKC, Kenny, you and I both voted for them. For me, it was also scrim rates that pushed me to that decision. What was it for you?
I think SKC have been trending upwards the entire year. I talked about them in the interview with them, but they're a team that's gotten a better result with each passing month. And I think they've had their eye on this since their, kind of devastating loss in that grand final. I mean, obviously a huge success for them, but when you make it that far, it always hurts to lose and get second place. It's the worst feeling in the world if you're a competitor. I just think they're progressing. I'm just going to believe in the upside swing a little bit. I've liked their practices. I think Zeta should be favorites reasonably. If the vote at home is in SKC's favorite, I would be surprised. This series is 1-1 on the year. You talked about the 3-2 last time. The time before that, though, it was Zeta 3-0, so I'm not ruling it out. But I'm kind of just calling my shot here. I feel like this could be SKC's month.
Yeah, they've been looking, again, better and better with every month that goes by. It would make sense for them to kind of make the grand finals today and also to win it potentially as well. Only really kind of faltering to that Crazy Raccoon match in the grand finals last time round. But it was a close one versus Zeta to get to those grand finals in the first place. So I feel like Zeta, for me, are looking better today than they were going back prior to World Cup. But again, their qualifiers were a bit shaky, so draft is the kind of letdown at the moment. But today, that draft was looking better.
I agree with you there. Zeta Division looked a lot better today than they did in the qualifiers, and it's only been a week since then. So they definitely used the time to catch up to the meta and draft a lot better. Let's see if it also works out against SK Kalalas here. I talked about scrim rates before, and SK Kalalas is beating every team in East Asia right now apart from Crazy Raccoon. That's also why I have those two teams in the grand finals, and I still have Crazy Raccoon winning it all. Now Rival is waiting there for them. They're happy about that, I assume, so maybe they take this as motivation. If they make it to the grand finals today, they could edge it out and actually take the win today, because Rival, I don't know if they are prepared for them, but in scrims they've been looking very good against them.
Yeah, I think if you're the side of SKC and Zeta, you're licking your chops a little bit. That's no disrespect for Rival, but they've been the lower-seeded team all year long. This is their first grand finals. Both of these teams have a lot more experience, a lot more success so far. I think both of them know if they can get through the semifinals, there is a real chance they can bring home a grand final, and especially with CR losing for Zeta Division, that's motivation to climb up the leaderboard, retake that #1 spot. And if you're SKC, well, now that's motivation to knock down Rival, because if Rival get a win here, they're really going to push themselves forward.
The map draft is flying in now. We have Triple Dribble as the first map here from SK Kalalas, then Heart of Mine, Zeta Division. They picked it once before, get to play it once again. Goldarm Gulch for SKC, Kaboom Canyon for Zeta Division, and then Hideout as the decider. We have seen a lot of those maps already today. Anything that we haven't seen yet today that you would still like to see, Ark?
I would like to see a bit more of a Colette ban. We've seen that brawler coming through a little bit too much for my liking. I'd always like to see a bit more Pierce, but I think I'll settle for Colette bans.
You get one.
Yeah, I'll get one. That'll be my shot.
I would like to see Triple Dribble as our first map Willow again. I always like her in a map like this one. Shade was picked up by Crazy Raccoon, is usually the special from Zeta Division. So talking about the first map already, these two are going to be the brawlers I look out for. And then of course the usual suspects, Damien, Naja, Edgar, Sirius are also going to be good if they come through the global fans, which two of them aren't.
That's a big yawn, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say,
All time stood still during that yawn.
I was going to say, he's going to need to lock in a little bit. You know, like, I don't like seeing that. I feel better now for SKC side. If I'm seeing yawns coming out, the guy's bored. Either that or he's bored because he knows it's going to be an easy win. Global bans are always interesting. This one, though, I think is just a simple chalk up. It's just for the better brawlers. I mean, Kent maybe a little lower down that, but three of them being mentioned, Colette, Damien, Edgar, it's fine. We can just get rid of them. We don't have to deal with it. We can get more unique things.
And Ark gets his wish granted.
and a replay of the yawn as well. Like, I get 2 wishes granted back to back. That was one for records.
Yeah, I think we're going to get to see this replay a lot more often. Shatampo, be careful what you do on camera is all I'm going to say. Goes for us the ball usually, right? Let's look at the votes here on the website, eventalbrawlers.com. You guys have voted, or you folks at home, 92% for Zeta Division. Not a huge surprise here, Kenny. We go with the 8% in this one, and I still feel good about it.
I think that is a hugely skewed number. I think personally, I just don't see this being a 3-0. This is the kind of scoreline where it's dominant team versus inferior team, easy click. I just don't feel that way about this. In my heart of hearts, in my gut, I really feel like SKC are closer to Zeta than 92-8. To me, this feels like a 60-40 Zeta, but again, I just feel like this is setting up to be a great SKC day with Brawl Cup going to Zeta Division. SKC have been razor focused on one thing, and that is the summer split for months, and I just feel like their practices have shown it. I feel like Zeta Division being in the lower bracket scares me off a little bit. I don't know, I don't agree with that.
We talk a lot about draft in general today as well. Do you think Sebas or Mameshi is going to have the upper hand here?
Mameshi's the mad scientist, as we like to call him here on the desk, and sometimes that doesn't always pay off. That's my only concern. It's good time to dare, but you can't get carried away with yourself.
Let's see the draft then. Triple Dribble is going to be our first map. Heading into set number 1, I get my wish granted as well. Shade is banned out, but we do get to see Willow. It's actually going to be the first pick here from the side of SK Kalalas. Now, Zeta Division still has a lot of aggressive options open that could be quite good against that Willow. Shade is not an option, but Mortis could still be one. Naja is going to come in as first pick. There's the Mortis I just mentioned. Zeta Division does follow my head, or the plan I had in my head. I do like the draft on the right-hand side. So.
Yeah, I can't complain. I mean, 2 great brawlers. I think a lot of the times Mortis gets global banned just because he's so pesky to deal with at a professional level. But as far as assassins go, this is definitely one of the better ones they can grab, especially with Kid out of the way, Shade banned here, and then Edgar, of course, on that right-hand side. So no fault so far for me.
I quite like this poker ban as well. It's kind of like a bit of a weird one, but it makes a lot of sense when you consider that they are really prioritising the Willow on the side of SKC ball coming through as well. Is Embroil, which is definitely still very much up there as a top contender in Brawl Ball for me, and especially now on the side of that Willow. Makes a lot of sense. I think, playing against it will be a tough one for Davis now as well as the prime counter to it. I mean, the way that SKC are cooking right now, I'm really enjoying.
I really like it. I hope they have enough for the Naja though. Well, we mentioned the poker band there. Usually the one probably you want to have because we can catch it against the toxins of Naja. On the right hand side now, Poaches could still be an option to make sure that they also have something to defend and a lot of DPS. They already have an aggressor. They could also pair it up with some heals now.
Yeah, I'm curious if they go wall break and something creative like they do go with the Otis. I was thinking Griff could have been a possible solution here too, because they blow up this map with a piggy bank a little bit. It makes it harder for Mortis, but I do think it really allows Naja to shine. I think to your point though, this is a very safe, typical option. We got to go anti-tank. We can also outrange the cord. The only issue is I think this Willow has a strong chance of having a good set, especially with no wall break.
We saw it pay off pretty well for Zeta, although they didn't quite win that set if memory serves correct earlier today. But Willow is still just such a great brawler pick. It's not necessarily like really riding high in terms of the meta, but in Brawl Ball, it can be that very thing to defend or go on the offensive. And I think, to be honest, for me, SKC just wanted to take it out of Zeta's hands because they are so dangerous with it.
Reasonably so. Some mechanical monsters on that right-hand side, but SKC growing with each passing month, looking for an opportunity to finally win a grand finals. But now it's round 3 versus this squad. A rubber match, looking to prove that they're amongst the top 3. It's not 2 and then them on the next hand in as a fat splatter goes down for Chitampo. Kuru already having a charge up super as well. That's going to be their goal scoring opportunity. They have to be careful though. Low HP for Kuru.
Snakes go out. But this just goes to T, here to defend. Couldn't get the ball in time as well. That's surely going to be Zeta's all the way forwards there as well. Nice there from Suzuki to find it, but a bit of a miss there from SKC. They may have been able to intercept the ball, but it would have been a tough one to be honest.
So a kickoff to this left-hand side as an early goal goes through for Zeta Division. Now Ghost T dragging one to the Shadow Realm, but Otis can still outrange. Ghost T just got to rely on hugging these walls. Naikishu immediately eliminates space, just dashes at the other end. A wide open net, a wasted super on top of that too. What a conversion for SKC.
And soaked up so much damage along the way as well, but able to still score it. Now continuing that assault, but muted out very quickly by Shitabish. Smart bombs there. Hypercharge for him. The left-hand side going on the aggressive, getting tapped up by Ghost T. Ghost T goes into the realm at the wrong time. Akura off the line, and now Nefushu should be out with a helping hand. This defense, but at the moment, the right-hand side, Batman with a hypercharge now. Snakes coming out yet again. The danger noodles are going straight for Kuru.
Oh, and now they're not even able to use this hypercharge because of the stun going through. Great timing out of Zeta Division. I really thought in that initial push they were able to get the goal, but instead the hypercharge just get the work done. You can look at it, and it's just 4,000 HP for a bunch of snakes. Oh my, like what are they supposed to do into that? Naja really getting the values worth there at the end. SKC did a decent job towards that mid game, making some good adjustments, but I think this Bull's gonna have to really punch through. The one thing we didn't see is Kuru really instigate anything with his super. He wasn't able to convert it into offense. It was just a lot of being on the back heels, working on defense.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment. I think Kuru needs to try and find more value here. It's going to be quite tough with the amount of aggression that he's faced into here, but look at the amount of taps he is landing. Goes T again, goes to the realm, just the right time. And hiding behind that wall, playing down the clock, that's the sort of time that you want to go into the realm, not a time which leaves your teammates on the ground unable to defend.
They'll take a trade all day in that situation, especially considering Kuru had a trade out as well, had to go for this. Oh my gosh, a pass to himself. Ooh, I thought maybe looking dangerous. I think a little miscalculation, bouncing off that barrel. Worth a go, but maybe more than anything, probably should have held back a little bit. I don't know if there's a real chance of a ball going in there.
Yeah, I like the thought. It was a nice way to dream. Here could be a chance for Zeta here, though. Batman and Chitampo full HP. They're usually going to be staying on those back lines, and a credit to him to not go in on that aggressive there because it would have left the goal wide open and taking down the cover at the same time. So, nicely done. Let's see now, as those shots from Kuru will allow Ghosty to push up slightly here. Wouldn't mind to have him go into the realm there. Just found an amazing connection there with Chitampo. Ball push forwards. A lovely pass from Kuru, but he has sacrificed there the line control to do so.
Super closes. Ghosty survives, now has a super available. They can drag Chitampo down and do the old 1-2 punch. Instead, he just throws one in the net. Nicely done. I was kind of looking out for Shadow Realm, regular shot ball kind of combination. Instead, Ghosty just nails it.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of like what you'd think that would be the most easiest way to score there, but Ghosty's taking some chances. Like, quite like it at this stage. If you're going in with the double mortar stash away, it's going to put him in a bit of a precarious position there. Ball comes through, the HP is too low to do anything about it. Zuku couldn't quite finish it. Sakura is there for defense, but he's outnumbered here, big time.
Yeah, now the snakes coming in as well. Batman didn't elect to use the hypercharge, so it's just going to be 3 of the regular snakes going down. Ghosty doing his best to dodge, but without a super available, he's going to have to play this patient, use that little circle around him, the radius to charge that up past me, because he just doesn't have the range to contest here.
30 seconds on the clock, and Zeta are trying to make the stand here. The pass to Nopishu. Curious with mind control, the hypercharge as well. And so far, it says KC are just going on the assault. They can't stop him. Nopishu finds them in the top right pocket. And a lovely goal for SKC to get the game.
A couple great shots coming in there for goals. The Cordelius one, and then that in-game, there were double ball in the net. They had 2 members just standing at the mouth of that goal, and they still slid it perfectly in that top right-hand side. Love to see it. So elegant, so effortless, but such a difficult shot to convert. And SKC certainly making this one much more even now. I was a little nervous after the first one, but that one was a much closer call.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the official of this ball pick. It's making some great openings for himself and really keeping the pressure on Zeta. Already, that very man himself going for another pocket. Off the line just, and only just there by Batman. But it's not over yet. Some shots from Kuru do have to force Zeta to consider their motion to that left-hand side, that to the mid now. That was a close one.
Where'd it go? I mean, it was really close. It was going to be a tough one. There was a goalkeeper in there, but now a mind control going down, so this suddenly turns into numbers advantage for SKC. They lead Naishu right the super fast through. Even stunned out, it didn't matter. Shitapo blows the super just for a goal to go in the back of the net. SKC really flocking right now.
Yeah, so much value there from that mind control. And just the way it was picked up by Nopishu was beautiful. Now Zeta going on the assault. Nopishu low here as well as Kuru now. Poison ticks them down. The shot pushed straight to the hands there. Nopishu is down to Suzuku to pick up the scraps to ensure it. Tampo will score it. That puts Zeta back on business now. 1 goal apiece.
Nicely done as Suzuki will scoop this ball instantly. A hypercharge going down, and Bull is not going to like seeing that. They do eradicate them rather quickly. But now Suzuki up in the face in the 3v2, cycling through. The battle rate going down is now Batman will leave a margin forward. Kuru can't do enough damage in time. Just as SKC started to rev those engines and get going, it's Zeta Division with an immediate shutdown.
Yeah, I think for me, like for SKC at least, a bit anticlimactic there. I thought that they were starting to really brew something magical, and then they just shut it down as quickly as the thought passed their brain. I mean, that's exactly what you want to do to deflate your opposition, really. Give them the whips and then take it away. You know, it's really just ruins their mental. But some of the opportunities I felt for SKC, some of the goals, were better than that from Zeta. They were more flashy and more calculated and more teamwork orientated. But the brute force of Zeta towards the end, that one there was beautiful there.
Yeah.
To get the against a team like Zeta, it's all well and good doing it on ladder, and this as well. I mean, just so much chemistry from SKC. Despite that set going the way of Zeta, this one I feel is far from over because SKC are playing so good.
If you boil it down to 30-second highlight reels, I'm choosing SKC despite the loss, but it's ultimately the team-oriented play. It's 1 goal on that right-hand side that, or no, it's even in goals. I mean, just goes to show, but obviously the thing standing out to all of us, the kills, and specifically with Suzuku, especially in the face of somebody like a Bull 2, that's not necessarily easy. I really like more just odds into something like Cordelius. If Willow doesn't have super, it's nice, but you're also feeding the Willow supers. But the fact that Suzuku was able to shine that much throughout the set, I think just a testament to how good of a player he is.
Yeah, that's like wild when you look at the matchup, you know, because Cordelius can just pick in the realm and hide behind the wall. Bull, I mean, good luck dashing into that. That's just showing some serious calculations on his part to ensure that going on the aggressive is at the right time, when it's time to strike. Going in then to jump out up next Hard Rock Mine, this is a Zeta map all day long, and I can see kind of why they like to draft it in that regard. I mean, certainly brawls like Shade that are not actually going to be banned here could certainly be first pick worthy.
Great shout out. I think it's hard to make it work as a first pick if there are options open such as Lumi with Grim and Frostbite. Again, I'm always looking out for icy terrain if I see a Shade, either that or just going for those kinds of typical ones. I've seen Hank really start showing up a lot more because Shades started showing up. Naja, I think a lot safer of a pick. It's still an excellent brawler. It can work with the mid control. It has the snakes. We've seen what that hypercharge can do all day long. Now on this left-hand side, I think you have to build yourself around a solid flex pick. I would like to see them maybe go for an anti-tank here. I think Chester is still available on the board. No, it's not necessarily good to nausea, but I think one anti-tank measure and then also something that can deal well with nausea.
Well, over to SKC now. So whether they want to go just complete aggression in that regard, or yeah, I'm just surprised. I was going to say it, but I'm just surprised. I feel like for Zeta to not go first pick Shade here, that's very intentional from them. They must have a backup plan, because by not doing so, you're leaving it wide open, and there's still counters for Shade for sure. I think later on in this draft, we'll see some of those come forwards, unless they double down here. Bring in like a Jackie, bring in like a Trunk, bring in something which is going to really cause a problem, because they have to deal with this Mina for SKC.
Wow.
I'm really liking this draft so far from SKC.
Super aggressive. So now on the right-hand side with the 4-5 pick, you really have to focus on defense. I think it's going to be hard for them to find a playmaker and enough to kind of combat all that's coming at them with this side. So this may already be enough. And on top of that, it's SKC with a 6th pick. They can respond to this. So I think it's aggressive, but we've seen Mina can shine as a gym carrier. I think this gives them a lot of options. They can go for something more standard towards the end if they really want, or they can just have Mina do it. Use something like a windmill into something like nausea that can allow you to go in and out. But to me, this is just the standard response. You have to use Craven and Frostbite, and I think it's kind of a telltale sign that if Shade's going to be picked this early, this is just one of the options you're forced to go.
Well, I mean, I'm liking how Zeta are picking up the Lumi for sure. Ruff's still going to be open here, but not necessarily going to be too much of a helping hand. It's not going to be the easiest thing. The Shade gets locked in, as we saw earlier today already, to come out of that spawn area. But it still wouldn't be a bad idea for me to have something on those lane sides, so that can break Stu. They're going to come in for Zeta. Definitely seeing a lot more Stu coming forwards in the meta. I'm quite liking that for me. I do always feel like when Stu is not necessarily the strongest, but can also bring a lot of utility to the table. It makes things quite exciting in that regard. Over then to SKC to finalise this draft. They've got to have a mid for sure. The gems need to be under control here, and something against that Stu as well to be able to ensure it, because the Mina and the Shade will be busy.
I'm struggling to find a perfect answer, but I like Charlie's Spiderlings into something like Naja and Stu, but I don't like it into Lumi. So Colonel Ruffs, I feel like at a professional level is the ultimate. I don't know what quite the right answer is, so I'm just going to click the safest thing that can give my teammates who are really aggressive a hypercharge. And I think that's a safe bet, especially on this map. Bounce shots available. If they want to break down the map, they can. I don't think they will because they have a Shade and Mina, but I think this just allows them flexibility. So even at a 6th pick, especially if you don't have a definitive, this is what we must go, Colonel Ruffs is such a standard safe choice.
Yeah, sandbags as well, short of the gadget choice into the mid. Stu going to take a bit more time to kind of whittle those things down, and although both gadgets, to be completely honest, are pretty good, Airsport can certainly do a good job also. But I know what you're saying about the sort of breaking the bush, and do you really want to do that? It's going to take a lot away from your teammates to be able to use that to their advantage to the cover here. Sandbags will come out from the rough side of things, but it is very versatile. The Lumi, though, as well, already getting up to a very good start for Zeta as well.
Batman keeping an eye out, but thankfully he can kind of use these walls and have a curved shot so they can keep away from Naipishu's range. You're going to see him dancing around this the whole time, but Naipishu now has encircled him, able to get the tags as well, so goes for the takedown, already has a super cycle. So 2 gems for the side of Zeta. However, Shade is now fully charged up and ready to go.
Sheer aggression from tapping on that left-hand side there with Kuru. Does choose to heal himself up. Naipishu, so it's going to be now a problem that he has to deal with. And the arms will still that. Hypercharge already here for Kuru as well. Coming straight down and brings some valuable losses on that side. Goes Tito here. 38 HP. They're just about scaling away. And they push you straight into that again with that hypercharge now, as they know that they are in trouble.
Yeah, and powered up as well. I think this is going to be really difficult to deal with, because even if Naipishu dies, well, they've got Ghost T right there to scoop up that gem if necessary. Excellently played so far, and just an aggressive draft paying off. 2 gems on the ground as Ghost T scoops 1. And now the Mina windmill going down. That's perfectly fine. Guru has to scoop these up quickly, though. The take covered there for the piercing shot from Shitapo. Guru falls right back into Naipishu's hands. Not the ideal gym carrier, but with a hypercharge, it's getting pretty hard to stop the guy.
Oh my word, Suga's trying his very best, but now with the body blocking coming in, that's the best he can hope for. Naipishu will not burn down all the way either. He was down there to such a low state, but able to survive on. Zeta bought some valuable time there. Didn't get overly greedy. It wasn't necessarily what they were hoping to be able to escape with the spawn. But nonetheless, now they've got something to be able to save for this mid. As this gem going to spawn now inside SKC on countdown, and they've got to go on the aggressive.
Doctrine in the mid, so they're not going to be able to scoop this one up. As Nightfish on the right-hand side is left all alone. Hypercharge available too. One brawler goes down. This Ghosty is in a world of trouble. And Shade, I think, just trying to charge a super maybe as a getaway option, but needs to be careful because now the mid has bought a lot of time. Low HP, and I think they would have rather just had Nightpishu go down earlier because now they're in a world of trouble. It's SKC who have to just hold on for dear life as Zeta Division can occupy the middle of the map, go for these gyms, and now it's going to be a huge fight for gyms 11 and 12.
The gyms are more split between the members of Zeta than they are on the side of SKC. There's one that drops on the left-hand side. Ghosty now forced to pick it up. He's going to buy a little bit of time for Zeta. And a huge stun. The Pishu will fall as well. They should be able to get out with these gyms, especially with Shitambo having anything to say about it. Kuru now trying to push his way forwards. There's not going to be any time for a reset, and all the time in the world for Zeta to push themselves back. Ghosty, the last man, do anything to save for it. What a steal from Zeta. Cool, calm, collected. That is what we expect from a world-class team in this region.
Excellent perseverance, and just in a situation where it really felt like SKC should have been able to walk away with it. And the one moment that stood out to me is Shade had about 100 HP left, 9 gyms in the hand. It could have safely just died, but unfortunately the poison was just one tick away. It's not his fault. He tried to die. Just Zeta with a perfectly timed one, even in the not getting the kill. Just an excellent overall play, and I think this is what separates good from great. SKC have been climbing this region the whole time, but Zeta Division, even in what looks like losing sets, are still finding ways to win. We saw it in set number 1, and now the possibility of it once again being duplicated.
See how pivotal having those danger noodles are towards the end of the game as well. Just be able to lob them so far forward, just have that poison trickle down in your favour. Goes a long, long way. Gems are pretty evenly split this time round. A little bit of a moment there when the officials in the back enemy lines there causing some havoc, but now taken care of. That should bring some order back to Zeta. 3 apiece, but now 4 to 3, and another one to spawn in, and Zeta has the numbers in this mid. Kuru back now, going to take that right-hand side. Surely the official tries to open some space on this left-hand side.
Shade on the left-hand side doesn't grab the kill either. The ice rink is a great preventative measure from him getting away. If he starts skating, it's easy to land those shots. He can't quite blast through those walls because he gets bounced out of them. Unfortunate miss there as well, though. Both of these sides certainly not perfect.
Yeah, it's a little bit out of Shitambo's reach. Therefore, going to have to try and earn that back. Meanwhile, 7 gems now goes to in a very precarious position. That windmill could come a better time. But again, the snakes are so perilous, and SKC are not able to deal with them. Chicago pick up the scraps of those gems. They're going to be split. The Fisher is still dangerous. The hypercharge is still working with him. He is low. He can't get too much in the aggressive now. His teammates come back in, and Ghosty gets stunned immediately by trying to do so. 3 versus 1. It's not going to be something that SKC can win, and Zeta will bring it back with yet another set.
Big smiles for Zeta Division, but you can't help but feel disappointed if you're on the side of SKC. A really close call at set number 1, and then off the backs of that, what should have been a game 1 win is instead a Zeta steal. Zeta just have a way at taking these close ones and surviving, and that's ultimately what's getting them this comfortable lead. It feels closer than a 2-0 to me, but Zeta in the final moments in these game 2s and game 3s just keep finding a way. You talked about it earlier, it hurts the mental. You feel like you're good enough. You know you're so close. And sometimes being so close, knowing you have a chance, it hurts that much more. So the fact that they're down 2-0 and know it shouldn't be 2-0, I mean, that's what's going to make this even harder of a comeback if they want it.
That's why I love being on the disc with you, Kenny, because your mind is so evolved into mine. Like, you know, it's almost better to get swept and just have it be a steamroll, because then you can easily go, do you know what?
It's an easy excuse.
Go next. You know, we got outdrafted. It's that same old story of Brawl. You know, but when you're that close, and when one subtle slight mistake is the reason that the whole thing comes undone, to reset, to come back from that, it's a really, really tough thing. And I feel that's where kind of things unraveled, at least as far as gem grab is concerned. One thing's for sure is that SKC, to me, look like the better team. I like their drafts better, and I like the way they are approaching it. It's just these small mistakes that Zeta are capitalizing on, and then able to come off the back of feeling way better about how they stand in this matchup. And it's that confidence which Zeta are, for me, one of the biggest momentum-based teams in this region. CR, for me, are the teams which are able to withstand the might of so much pressure and still prevail. But Zeta are that squad that you don't want to be handing easy victories to, because they will just punish the action.
Yeah, they're punishing it, and now they're one set away from a grand finals, from taking back the top of this region, which is a huge deal. I know that World Finals points, it looks like these teams are way ahead, but with Crazy Raccoon falling, all it takes is another month of them not having their best stuff, dropping in a quarterfinal, a semifinal before this region really starts to blow up. And either of these teams could play a part in that. If Zeta wins, they really take that top spot. Rivals still have a chance, obviously, on the other end to do some damage. But SKC, if they win this, could be the biggest winners of the month, maybe across any region in terms of skyrocketing their stock, putting down the middle of the pack behind them, especially with teams like Reject missing this month. This is still a big deal. A 3-0 deficit, a 3-0 loss is not good enough if you're SKC. If you want to guarantee yourself postseason, these are the moments that matter.
Oh, absolutely so. I mean, this is the best chance to have a catch-up month. And now with the way that today is unfolding, it's becoming a real prospect here that if SKC can just knuckle down, just iron out some of these mistakes, it will just do the wonders for them in terms of the leaderboard coming in. Now, Drum coming in, Pierce and Colt, already a very dangerous prospect here on the side of SKC now to have to think about approaching. I think the long-range affair really has got to be very much on their minds. And a wall break would definitely be the way to go here because they can't depend on the walls. They already play against the Colt.
Yeah, this is interesting. So committing to DPS with the Colt and also additional wall break to empower the Pierce. Love this in terms of strategy and thought. Jae Young on this left-hand side going to be able to help out this Leon. They're going to be relying on the Lollipop drop, I imagine, for something like Gold on Girlish. The one thing missing here is some range to either match, or they have to just commit to being hyper-aggressive and look for these interactions where they can isolate a Colt, isolate a squishy Pierce. I think it goes one of two ways, but ultimately with 6 picks still relying on Zeta Division's side, I still like their odds here.
SKC map, so you'd hope that they come prepared with the draft match of Nanny. Not a bad shout here. Chloe from Zeta, though. I mean, that, to be honest, I don't necessarily mind in what it's going to be from there. A more open map by the time the Colt has had its way with it. It's going to definitely have a lot more supporting role. It's going to put a lot more pressure, though, onto the Colt, onto the Pierce, and just kind of, it could get outnumbered quite easily.
Chloe out in the open is interesting, but like tethering onto a Leon that's relying on invisibility. Jae Young, who's trying to heal his teammates, if you're tethered on, well, it's kind of heals met with an inevitable just tether that does damage. This looks like a clash of strategies, and Chloe might just be the creative solution that Zeta are looking for to take a 3-0 lead. They were down against CR in terms of the leaderboard coming into this month, but now with an opportunity to expand, to fully take that #1 spot, and on top of that, fight for a grand final, which has been several months since they've had that.
Yeah, there's a substantial lead between CR and Zeta and the rest of this region, but now that CR have fallen in the semi-finals, it's a real opportunity for Zeta to get way out in front and just make sure that is more pressure on CR. They might have to end up in the season really battling for that world spot rather than the LCQ. Now, coming around, so you can just take the front of it. Both sides are still standing in what's been quite a lot of back and forth already.
SKC with a little space to work with, and of course Naipishu with the ultimate range on this map, the sharpshooter that counters sharpshooters, which Combo doesn't care. Willing to open up this map, knows that Jae Young and Leon don't do nearly as well. It's just me, Chloe holding up Suzuki, constantly looking to try and tether onto this enemy side. More wall break going down from Naipishu. I'm not sure if that was the intent or just a misclick ultimately, but nonetheless, it'll still make this map a little bigger as the fog starts to close in.
Issue now, utilizing the peep, does find Shitambo now. The most T is on the wrong side of the block there, and Shitambo was able to bait around it now. It's now the Batman and Suzuki to pick it up, and they do. That was honestly something which I felt may have been SKC's to take.
And unless I'm crazy, I think Naipishu just popped a hypercharge with like 500 HP. Maybe I saw it wrong, there was a damage here, but I thought I got the sound animation there, and it's not a good call. Another peep going down. That's something that Naipishu has easily been able to gain access to. But Batman, of course, can constantly heal. They bounce him out at a perfect angle right into Ghost T and Guru's hands. That was the first signs of life I think we've seen in a while from SKC.
Yeah, nice break from Tampa, but that's the brawler that you want to focus on if you're SKC. Being able to secure the glory at this stage is just wondrous. Now Suzuki just doing his best to stay away from these shots, but he's really about to fall. The Wolf still fall. Big pushing to Tampa now. It's the case of trying to get a few shots before retreating back into this gas, but that was a much better round there from SKC.
Yeah, Tampa's called to quits. He's ultimately just going to play a little ring around the rosy. He's trying not to charge the supers. I don't think he's going to attempt to be a hero here. Just doesn't ultimately want to give up supers. It's nearly impossible, though, when you're out in the open and Naipishu's in your face. So still hope yet for SKC. We're looking for a win as well. Another peep. Just going to pucker on down to the invisibility. Go from the long distance with Shitambo. And the squad has plenty of supers to work with. Rolls around this map. Now looping, trying to catch Batman off guard, but doesn't quite do so. Just gonna be able to get the constant heals. Now pressure being applied by Bulletstorm as well. Not doing a ton of damage though. They're using the brass to dodge, but up top, Batman just trying to attach onto Crew. They've left the teammates all alone as Naipishu falls. Ghost T can't do enough damage to hang, and Zeta Division clearly have the numbers. Kuru knows this. He's going to go ahead and feed into the storm. That is Zeta Division.
Tapu was beaming, absolutely beaming on this cold pick. And I mean, if he keeps playing like this is going to be over very quickly. I think for SKC, some good moments. I think that especially the peak piloting was absolutely on point, ensuring that that glow was not forwards, then taken care of. And we've seen more things like that, where they're really focusing that level of care towards the main problem dealer, which is Batman. I mean, ultimately, there are some scenarios where the PS can run out of ammo, or the Colt can be so squishy enough to be taken care of by the Leon, but it's the Glowy that is the real thorn in their side.
Yeah, they were able to get that kill in round 2, and I think that led to them getting an early victory because of the quick kill, but now they just have to worry about the open space in front of them. Ghost T can't keep up with the range of somebody like Chitampo. Mechanical player like that, too, on a big playmaking brawler. I mean, I'm terrified if I'm SKC.
And again, Batman much pushing attacks, they've still got the ability to go from north to south here. Now that healing onto Batman is the right time as well. We can worry if Ghost is not going to find too much in terms of value either. So Zeta's surviving on the aggression. It is gearing up and vamping on the side of SKC.
Super available for Suzuku as well, so they can kind of just throw it down in this lollipop drop if they really need to. But yet again, another Pete going. Batman slides and does dodge it as well. Look how slimy is it. Bounces Chitampo right into Ghosty's hand, but Batman with a perfectly timed super now meets his maker. 2v1 situation, and Glowy certainly not a brawler in this situation that I would want when there are multiple members on the map.
Yeah, that's one of those kind of like knockout finales. If a Glowy wins a 1v2, I am here for that. It's not going to happen today. Another break that does leave a little bit of a tile there in the middle of the map, which may suit Kuru here, especially with a lollipop drop. Let's see what he does decide to do so once that's expired. But I want to see Kuru make a pop-off play here on this Leon pick, really utilize that invisibility and make it something that can work with here. Hypercharge today, Pushu is going, but he actually will fall so quickly, and now Zeta can just run back and take their time. Kuru's spotted as well, despite the invisibility. Disastrous for SKC.
Absolutely. I think Kuru is honestly attempting to back onto this grass so he can disappear again, but the pressure from Zeta Division, the shots landed, made this too difficult. And now Batman just trying to latch onto somebody like Leon because Leon relies on invisibility, but if you're seeing him the whole time, he's rendered useless.
It's a very tough ask here for SKC. I think even if Kuru does get super, he might decide to save it. There's so many hypercharges already for the Suzuku, for Batman, and Chitampo is probably not too far behind, especially not after those beams. And Kuru just knows the gas is the only place to go. It comes down to a round. And SKC have still not got anything to say about it on the scoreboard.
Bleak situation, too, as all three members of Zeta Division have supers coming into this. Nani Pete from the long-distance tethers. Now attacking the Batman, who slides through once again with a gadget. These perfectly timed responses. Kuru pops Hypercharge. They know they need to act quickly, but Zeta Division, while pinned in the corner, are all alive. Hypercharge for Ghost T. They're trying to get really offensive as Chitampo lands a few tags. Bulletstorm going through Suzuku with a long-range marksman, able to maintain for his team. They've really kept themselves alive. Zeta Division with a real fighter's chance here.
Over there, with a bit of a waste of the hypercharge, but I don't mind it. It kind of made SKC rethink themselves, not going to be aggressive too much. Chitampo survives, 206 HP, and the heals were clutch from the Glowy. Batman now continuing this on Ghost. He's probably going to fall on the bottom side in dust. Kuru on the top side left, so incredibly low, but the focus is on the Nani, and Zeta Division have cleared up the scraps. Now surely, in a 2 versus 1 and all the heals in the world, they can take care of Kuru.
Glowy in a 2v1, very different than the opposite. Kuru has a super, and he's going to have to use it now. They know this, though. The game awareness from Zeta Division, they are too good of veteran players. They're waiting for this, trying to get an isolated play, but Kuru is left all alone, and Zeta Division shut down SKC, a revenge affair that will get them to yet another grand finals as they take the top spot in East Asia.
Bit of a shame there for SKC for me, because I felt like they were very prepared actually coming into this one. I like the look of their drafts. I like the look of how they were playing as a team, and it's one of those teams that I think have got a real chance here of securing LCQ, maybe even Worlds, as we see how the season unfolds. Now, Crazy Raccoon falling in those semis, but for Zeta Division today, kind of where we expected to see them again, but I mean, the upsets have been coming in today thick and fast. I think SKC is a fantastic job regardless.
I think this one especially hurts because there was a real opportunity here. Crazy Raccoon are thrown out of the mix. Rival Esports on the other side. Again, Rival Esports very well could win this whole thing, but in terms of leaderboard standing, SKC really needed this because now Rival have a chance to edge them out in future months. We've got Zeta Division who are climbing on top as well. That gap's expanding too. Losing to Zeta Division's one thing. Losing in a 3-0 fashion after beating them in a 3-2 after having months of training for this exact moment. just devastating. The mental for SKC, we're going to have to see them really bounce back in this next month because you can't just be a semifinals team. They have to make some grand finals if they want to guarantee themselves something like that LCQ you mentioned.
This could have very well been SK Kalalas. They, as you said already, Rivalry Sports waiting for them in the finals. If they could have repeated what they did last month or 2 months ago in the last one of the finals, they could have made it all today. 3-0 though for them. They were the only ones to actually make it a 3-0 in the quarters, rushing through to end here and now losing 3-0 themselves. I think they just weren't warm. I don't know. After that quarterfinal, they didn't have an opposition that gave them the warm-up they needed to defy a Zeta division that looks super strong today. For me, especially the draft here was where SK Kalalas struggled, which is a surprise. We talked about it, Ark. Nemeshi versus Sebas. We have the EMEA draft on the side of SK Kalalas, but it wasn't there.
It just feels like the team got together after those qualifiers and the side of Zeta and were like, hey, Nemeshi, we know you tried in that draft that maybe just go down to the lower bracket, but let's try and rein it back somewhat slightly. And it just seems a bit more grounded coming into today. And I've been really impressed, honestly, with how Zeta, especially as the team which I had to fall in the quarterfinals. I was very uncertain as to whether there was going to be some shakiness specifically from them here today. And I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. I feel like now there's a real chance. I mean, Rival. I mean, who could have predicted that they would cause the upset in the semis? They could still very much go all the way here. I mean, on event.brawlstars.com, I'll leave that to you guys because I'm not going to jinx it.
It would have been lovely to see a completely new final. Now we get to see Rival though for the very first time in the grand final of the monthly final. So I'm still excited for that one. It's going to be quite a rough one though for them. I would have loved to vote Rival at this point. You could have argued that if you can beat Crazy Raccoon, they can also beat Zeta division. But like I said already, Zeta just looks different. They didn't do quite well in the qualifiers, but today their draft is, their draft is on point.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I said to the guys backstage, I was like, if SKC beats Zeta, I'm going Rival. So I'm not counting them out of this one at all, but I just feel like Zeta is probably the smarter prediction out of the two. It just feels more likely to happen. They know what it takes to win on the biggest stages, and I think Grand Finals is not really where Rival Esports have been, so I just feel like they're going to probably drop it.
Kenny mentioned it already, with Crazy Raccoon only being 6 points ahead of Zeta division. With them not making it into the finals, that's now Zeta division entered that top spot in the leaderboard in East Asia. So they can be grateful to Rival, but they still want to beat them today and make it their second grand final win overall. Now, in Zeta division, there's one player that is very known for a very interesting seating position, I heard.
We're blasting through the monthly finals.
And we've seen a wide range of different seating setups for you players as you compete.
We're going to test him out and see if any of them give a competitive advantage. What? He's what? You're really? My tablet feels really far away. Usually I like to be here. In fact, this is the way I would normally play the game. I can't believe anyone would really play the game like this.
Right, okay. Well, I know exactly what to call this pose. This is the seductioner, isn't it? Say, hey, how's it going? You. Yes, you.
Okay, yeah, this is in seat number 42 of a transatlantic flight when you're trying to eat your dinner.
I call this the Stratampo. Nobody else would ever get into this position. Play-wise, I think it's interesting, it has something. It obviously only winners play like that. When you're done with the set, you're going to put your tablet down, just get into a quick push-up like Stratampo does as well. Good, okay. Are we going to continue playing?
No. Is that under his butt? Why are you, this is like an evolution of cross-leggedness. I can't do it. I'm toppling over.
Okay. Well, I can't bend that way. I can say that for free. And what is amazing to me about this is how close the legs are to the wall as well. I'm already hurting.
Look at this dude.
I'm guessing it's like this. A 2 out of 10, at best.
This is if you really want to feel immersed in your character as you're playing Barley. I feel like you could apply this to other throwers. You could do the dynamite, with the sticks of dynamite.
What are you doing to me? What are you trying? This is not a segment. This is not fun. This is just you guys trying to cause me pain. It's an Asian squat, I think. Is it like this? And then the arms. What's going on with the arms? It's like this, but his legs are straight up. vertical. Ah! I would call this, I don't know, pain. Just pain.
I'll call this, I didn't even make it out of bed, 4 out of 10.
I guess this move is called I'm gonna call it the sternal support. I feel like I'm holding like a mini plank position. Maybe I like need more cushions or something. We'll say like 8 out of 10. You think this is what he's doing off cam?
That is what Ark is doing off cam actually right now as well. It's super sweet. But yes, that has been it for especially East Asia being featured in weird seating positions. I'm super excited to see what we get to see from them later on. We already saw Shigeminyo, this time not with a Barley cosplay. This time it was Mortis. Unfortunately, he didn't make it through. Maybe Rival is showing up with a cosplay too, who knows?
We can only hope. I just want to say how awful Ark is at getting into those different positions. Like, I know it's an aging body, but like...
Says you!
Yeah, but I could...
The guy who's got the shoulder of a 70-year-old man.
I could sit in every one of those positions, right? I'll say that. All I'm saying.
Congrats, I'm proud of you.
Thanks,
Proud of you.
appreciate that.
Yeah, good pat on the back, though.
Thank you.
Well, yes, talking about East Asia, our World Finals are going to happen in East Asia too. We had a little bit of a teaser already for it. You guys got to vote and guess where it is, and whoever voted Japan was right in the end.
Phenomenal weekend of esports, and welcome to the Brawl Stars World Finals! Use their rivalry one last time, not remotely enough from Humble. Crazy Raccoon and crowds keep
This is going to be one of 4. Yes, you heard me right. 4 LAN events we have this year, with the challengers finally also being in Istanbul, in Turkey. So make sure to get your tickets there. Also make your way to Tokyo if you want to see another epic Brawl Stars World Finals. Now, from the East Asian team so far, Crazy Raccoon and Zeta Division are looking the best to actually get those slots as Kikolas in that last chance qualifier slot right now. Who do you think will actually be the 2 teams in the end? Zeta and Crazy, or is it going to be someone new?
I've got a feeling it's probably still going to be these 2. Like, Crazy Raccoon have definitely had a bit of a downer this month, and they're going to be caught up a little bit. And as we've already mentioned, Zeta Division have overtaken them already today. So once those points get added on, they'll be catapulted into first. I do think it's going to be these 2 teams going to the World Finals, but I think it's a big battle for that 3rd spot.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I would like to see, though, there be some real peril on the horizon. I mean, it only really takes one quarterfinals exit for either Crazy Raccoon or Zeta Division, and then the whole leaderboard could catch up. That 1.5 times points multiplier really can make a difference, as can Jinxing in regards to our teams to watch, which now you're voting on. So if you want to see the leaderboard shift, it does seem to be the case that when we do highlight and showcase a team to watch, that they don't have the best of months.
Yeah, it's been a real rough one today for Crazy Raccoon, to say the least. They've had a couple of really close games, sadly losing that one in the semi-finals. Well, sadly, in terms of for them, I'm sure the rest of the region will be very pleased that they have, to be honest with you. It gives them a bit of time to catch up. But yeah, the community definitely cursed them a little bit.
It would have been very nice to see a completely new finals here with the 2 at the top of the leaderboard. Now even more at the top with 30 points they gained through Brawl Cup. They're now 100 points ahead of everyone else. It would have been nice to see SK Kalalas versus Rival Esports. We still get one of the 2, so I'm happy. And I would be against Rival winning it all today. It would definitely shake up that leaderboard, which would be really healthy to see at this point. Summer Split is in, so we now have a 1.5 multiplier on all points. The race, the catch-up, has to start today. Rival Esports versus Zeta Division is your grand final of the June monthly finals here in East Asia.
A very tough match this will be for Rival Esports. but one that I feel that they are actually ready for. Looking at today and how consistent they've been, and of course toppling Crazy Raccoon in the semi-finals, their biggest result to date against the team which they faced 3 times, twice in qualifiers in February, March, and in the April monthly finals, and lost to in all 3 occasions. Hence the reason why we saw the backflips that didn't quite land the full rotation, but it was a great celebration regardless. Rival are cooking. I am absolutely here for it. We are united on the desk in our prediction with Zeta, but we kind of have to side here with the favourites. It'd be kind of a bit crazy not to. There is every chance that Rival could do this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Zeta Division, the clear favourites in this one. Is there still a underdog beating heart in your chest as well, Trev?
Do I love an underdog? Yes, I do. Do I think they're going to win? No. But I kind of hope they do. I really do. Because, like, as I keep on saying, it's going to close that leaderboard down and make it closer. We don't really want these 2 teams to be running away with it. We want it to be kind of packed in where the top 5 or 6 can be in any of those spots.
So mind versus heart stats do say that Zeta Division should take this one. But as you said, Ark, 3 times in a row, Rival has lost to CR. So we don't know how good Rival really is today. If they can beat the Crazy Raccoon, they might also be able to beat Zeta Division. They also do get the first map pick, which is a better thing to do, I think. If you close it out in 3, you have 2 map picks. Open Business is going to be the first one here. Zeta Division for the 3rd time already picking hideouts here. It's definitely their favorite map in the world. Penal Font coming in from rival Kaboom Canyon from Zeta Division, which I believe we haven't seen at all yet today. And then out in the open as our tiebreaker. Any map you really want to see, the last 2 we haven't seen at all yet today, Trev.
Yeah, I'm curious if we're even going to get to those, to be honest with you. Like, I just feel like Zeta are going to come into this one quite heavy favourites. I really do want to see it go all the way because we've had a lot of 3-2s today, and I'd love to see the grand finals close out as we start. But I can't help but feel that Zeta are going to be a bit more switched on to the fact that Rival just want to pick up Damien every single time. And yes, they are. It's banned out of the way. That was their driving force against Crazy Raccoon. That's the reason they won, because Crazy Raccoon didn't ban it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I felt like the Charlie response from CR in the semi-finals was quite decent in the in the set number 5, but it wasn't enough, and that seems to be the best answer for Damien. So I think just best to eradicate it. It gave Rival the edge, and Zeta not taking those chances. Definitely though, Mortis, Crow. We see Crow drop off a little bit this month so far, at least in this region. But certainly in terms of other brawlers like Klep, Mortis, there's kind of real tough brawlers to have to deal with. That's probably, like, honestly, one of the more, like, have we seen a poll today other than this that's been below 90% favourite? I haven't seen one.
It's around 65, I think 65, 35.
It's been such a rare thing to see. Like, I think Rival, to be honest, considering how well they played today, could be at least 30%. That's being generous, really.
SK Kalala's got less votes than Rival against Zeta Division, so there you go with that. We talked so much about draft today, and I agree with you in that Rival had the edge over Crazy Raccoon because of the draft. It was impeccable, and Crazy Raccoon honestly just showed us a couple of mistakes, like leaving that Damien open, not banning him once, really was an issue for them. And Zeta Division, they have been looking so strong in their draft today. It's not going to happen to them on both sides. I feel like we have very targeted bans here in the global stage. Also with Mina and I believe it was Shade against Zeta Division. Those 2 are the signature brawlers of Zeta today.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's smart. It really is to get these I think, like, global bans being targeted is more important than kind of like bans through the actual ban phase being targeted. It just gets them out of the way for the entirety of it. And obviously, I think Zeta coming into this one, they've learned from Crazy Raccoon. Get rid of that Damien. You're a better team on paper. You've been a better team for a few years. So just play safe Brawl Stars.
I agree. In the global ban stage, get rid of those comfort picks, and then you can still ban the meta for each individual map. Now, that first one, Ark, who do you think is it going to be? Rival chose it. Are they also going to win it?
This is the question that for Rival to pick maps 1 and 3, if they don't get off to a good start, it's going to be possibly Zeta which capitalize in that second set. So they need to really hit the ground running here. I think the momentum off the back of that Crazy Raccoon match is going to be quite key. But then Zeta are just carrying their momentum forwards, having just played. So, I think that for me, it's hard again not to side against Zeta. Just say Zeta. Zeta.
So now, for the start of the summer split for the June monthly finals here in East Asia, we have for you now Rival Esports versus Zeta Division. we're starting things out on Open Business, another hot zone map. So Lou is going to be the bowler of choice here. Makes a lot of sense. We have Colette banned out, Fix banned out. Those two would also be pretty decent first pick options here. Now on the left hand side for Rival Esports, they usually also like to go with the Lou. They like a good Eds as well, but she's banned out. So let's see if they're going to go with something aggressive instead. Yes, the Draco is going to come in here together with the Poker. I like to see that. It's not the best into a Lou per se, but it's a good comp in itself.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to have the gadget as well to get rid of those Lou effects, so it can still kind of power forwards through it, regardless of that being such a tough thing for Draco and Poco to deal with if that wasn't a gadget. But I quite like it. I think they do have to take this route of just running it down. They've been deprived of what was working for them before in Damien, a tank, so just run it down with different tanks.
Feel my wrath!
Mortis coming out for Zeta. I felt it, but I think it was safer, in my opinion, just to break with a grip, bring in a Pierce, and just have everything wide open to target everything onto that Draco. Draco's definitely an East Asian brawler, in my opinion, these days. I haven't really kind of seen it maybe in South America a touch, but it's a risky brawler to double down with in that regard. Cordelius from Zeta is going to be their specific answer to that Draco. And I kind of much prefer kind of working around the Draco than actually picking it these days myself.
Yeah, they have two counters now to that. Draco is not going to have an easy task to make it into mid. Do they double down here, pick up another healer, or go with something a bit more conventional? Nara, for example, is still left open. She's not globally banned. She's not regularly banned, and she's still super strong in the current meta. Against the Mortis, they could go with something like Anita too, just to counter him out. Stu isn't going to be instead. They just have no damage on the left-hand side.
Yeah, they really don't. It's going to be worrying when the Mortis does come towards him. He's going to be able to chain quite a few supers pretty successfully. And they've just got to hope that they're going to have enough gadgets to deal with the loot, to be honest with you. Cord as well, going to be able to do a good amount against the Draco, so I'm a little worried for Rival here, to be honest with you.
I'm not feeling overly excited for Rival in their odds here. You know, the Draco can thrive, but it really does need to close the gap. And with a Stu as well, it's be lacking in range also. The Poco's the best range brawler on that squad, and that concerns me quite greatly. I feel like, you know, for Zeta here, they could be going the aggressive, and I feel like Rival could be in trouble.
Yeah, it does seem to be like they are going quite aggressive. Ryohei very close to being stunned out here and just about gets it off in time, but the Cordelius will drag him into the realm and take him down. Suzuki's still around the back, just chilling at the moment, and there's the breakthrough. Not the most wonderful thing.
But if he broke him anymore, he would have gone down immediately as well. But he goes down a few seconds later regardless, so it might have been worth just to do it and take the death. And meanwhile, Zeta are just probably hunkered down on this zone now, healing up to full HP. And Suzuki, again, the Morris picks. Look at that left-hand side. I mean, Ryohei just got annihilated.
Things can change, but at the moment it just seems like they're toying with them. Like they're just beating him down over and over and over again. There's another hypercharge being used by Shampoo. Didn't even go for the kill here. He's just kind of waiting him out. There's a hypercharge from Batman as well. Doesn't make any connections, but they're at 75%. It's a 3v2 in the mid portion of the map, and their big boy's gone out of the way.
Rival pick this map, okay? That does not seem like the case when you look at what we're seeing in front of our eyes. It was like Zeta wanted this, or at least played into the ideas that they were going to implement more so. Rival got to bring out whatever their strategy was. Like, I don't want to say it's now draft too soon. Like, there's many occasions where you see kind of like how quickly Hot Zone can turn and how quickly a different star can ignite a flame within this squad and the draft. But I don't know whether I can see it happening here.
Just saying for Chakra Flora, it's not a great draft, is it? Like,
it was awful.
It really doesn't seem to be working for them. I think a better start can change a lot, to be honest with you. But it's a question whether I'll be able to get out. Stampo super in hand there, and Super will sweep through and clean that up. But a 2v2 is much better than the position we're in last time. And they've got that percentage on the zone with taking the lead now. Suzuki in the back line. Santoro gets the kill as well, and honestly, better.
Definitely better. Stampo will eradicate Ryohei for now. And Batman will place down a nice on the zone as quickly as that there tune of Poco will be able to take care of that freeze. And now going to be taken care of by Utapin as well. It's some good trade, but so far Rival Esports are the first to achieve 50%. That is a ton better than what we saw in the previous game.
Shambo high charges and goes down as well. As Toro doing a much better job here. Ryohei sliding onto the zone and actually just using the gadget to get rid of that as well. Suzuki picks that kill up and they're massively behind now, but the stun's there on Ryohei, and this is where Zeta starts to fly away with it. And they have full control. They've got hyper charges and they're just able to chill a bit.
Now Zeta approach more and more towards 50%. Hope charge from Batman is certainly a graceful thing, especially now Pogo has just then released Gadget. Let's see, Finn not going to be able to address the zone, but get some good taps on Batman for sure. So yeah, he might be able to clear him up as well. That switching solo to Toro will keep him low. Now, Rival Esports, all three members starting to make this look easy and doable. To take care of Batman, Tampo not be able to do too much here into the realm as well. That is, especially when you consider how bad their first game went for them, a nicely tied up set now.
Yeah, night and day, really, from Rival there. Much better start, and it just puts them in a position to just hunker down, hold it out. Poco heals, kind of getting the shots for everyone, cycling them out a bit better. It was a pretty convincing performance in Game 2 from Rival. So, something that Zeta have got to be worried about. They were flying in the first game, but it was just so different in the second.
Well, Tampa now knows that he's supposed to try to address his right-hand side quickly and early on. Already, this Poco is paying dividends so far for Rival Esports. Big freeze, an early freeze of that there for Batman as well. He's been almost frozen out by the shots that were landing successfully on him. Yohi, that top right-hand side, in a good spot, with the range being kept on the side of Zeta. We're having a much better start now. They almost now approach 30%.
Yeah, super there from Batman, not really the best in my opinion. Super there from Tampo as well in turn to get you into the realm. He'll come through, cycling these bats, but really doing a good job. And it's not a massive lead for Zeta at the moment. Rival on the zone and holding well.
They've already utilised this Poco pick pretty well for the most part. With tearing off the freeze, but also to ensure they're working together as a squad. Zeta sometimes falling behind a little bit in terms of their spawn cycles now. Suzuki, they get a nice little cycle, gives them back out as well. Just secure the takedown too. Now Zeta, all three men are standing. He can't contest this whatsoever. So throughout this ball, look at this. Tabu and Suzuki looking together here for the sports coming in for Rivals.
Yeah, I mean, almost goes down there, though. Stunned out, Ryohei. Going to be able to stay up for a little while longer here. Get caught by the returning bats, and that could be a big game changer here. You two can force to back off as Poco's not there to support him through the ice. And now, trying to get back into this. So once being stunned out, but Suzu now going in. Gets the shots off. Super available to hyper charge in turn from Ryohei. Keeps them in the mix, but not going to be able to outrange here. Gets caught stunned off the zone. Now pushing on. Cycled out again, though, and Batman just putting in work on the blue. And Zeta started strong, fell off, and then it was kind of a little bit close in the third.
Yeah, it was kind of more like evenly matched for sure. Ryohei at the end just really giving it all he's got on that Draco pick. But I just felt like, as much as they made it work in the second game, the comp just didn't really feel as rounded for me. It just didn't really feel like it was fitting in as many places on the side of Rival Esports. I feel like the Zeta were playing it safer in that regard, and the kind of all-in approach for Rival wasn't just nearly as successful as I think that they thought it was. It did have a place. It could have been something that could have taken a step, but that first game, it was so one-sided, and Zeta got off to a flying start.
After Grace Raccoon allowed Rival to pick Damien 3 times in a row, my huge question coming into this grand final was really, can Rival win even if they don't have Damien, even if they don't have Draft? And now in this one, I didn't see a world where this Draft could have won. Stu, Draco, and Poco into this, no damage, no range really. And they didn't struggle as much as I thought. They actually made it quite close, did win a game. So my answer to this question so far is yes, of course, they can still win, even against the Zeta division, even if their draft isn't looking too good. If the draft would have been looking a bit better, though, they could have maybe even taken the sets. So far, it's 1-0 for Zeta division. They played well, they drafted well, and if you want to be a grand finals winner, those are two of many things I think you need to win it all. Yeah.
There's a lot of things you need, but they are two of them, so it's a good place for Zeta division to be in. Rival, they had their moments throughout that set. I do think Zeta maybe kind of got a little bit overconfident after that first game going so heavily their way, but they kind of were quite quick to react to that, losing that game, and came back just as strong in the third. So we're moving now on to Hideout, which is a map that we've seen time and time and time again today. It seems to always be Zeta picking it. So after coming off the back of an opposition's map and doing that well, you're expecting them to continue.
Yeah, I think the decision really, first and foremost, is like, are you bringing an Immortal Storage on to get the blue star? If you do so, are you going to be able to hold your line when it comes down to it and really meet the aggressiveness of your opposition? What's spanned out here? Jaehyung also banned. So that blue star being quite highly valued in that regard, as well as the Naja, the Leon, the Byron, and the double Leon ban actually in that regard. I think here's where the meter bans were quite shining through on this global ban spell. The first pick here from Rival Esports. Colette's still going to be open here. I think it's an easy pickup.
Colette, Kaze, both left open would be a good duo for me here. Pick up for Zeta Division, definitely possible with Mina banned out. Mortis as well now. Kaze is really the only one that is still there to pick up that blue star first, so let's see if they're actually going to go with it. What they usually like to play is a Byron comp. Byron is banned out, and yeah, with that, they kind of have to go with something a bit riskier. There's not too many options left open that are really safe. Here's, of course, is one of them. Once again, I think Ark has a lot to say about that. Slid through the bans in East Asia. He's one of the most picked up brawlers today, but they seem to think he's not good enough to actually ban him.
Yeah, I like the Pierce. I think fighting range with range early on and not really taking too many chances is probably smart for Zeta. Wouldn't have expected Brock, though, to be honest with you. You know, when we see so much aggression coming out of this region in general recently, I probably would have, as you said, Sonny, go for the Kaze as an alliance, try to take that first one. But I don't know if they're just kind of lining up to not be able to allow the other team to play a Colette or kind of open up and not let them play anything too aggressive, which would make sense for the Brock.
I think Kaze would be a great pickup for now Rival. I mean, it's going to be hard for Zeta to play it into the Bell with the amount of mistakes. The Max are going to come forward as well. Which can phase shift away by popping them, but now in their side of the field. I mean, it's an aggressive brawler. It's not going to necessarily be the most threatening unless they back it up. The Bell will get some good shots and definitely form clustering on their opposition side. But I kind of want to see how they compare this. Nani is the idea for them. A brawler which, you know, has got less susceptibility while using being now on the ground, but still is a little bit like that for me. It's kind of very traditional. I kind of prefer what Zeta.
So far, so good for Zeta, definitely. Let's see what the last pick is going to be. If they break open the map, and I think that is Rival's thinking here, the Max is going to be a good counter to the two snipers, and Nani is, of course, as well. Not too good in Team Gears because he has so many shots available, and there is also the counter to the Nani. Now, Jean is so good against her, she can't really use the return to send and get it into Brock and Pierce as long as Jean is there as well. I don't know. My thinking was, why leave Kaze open? Whoever gets blue star here in this long-ranged matchup will probably also keep it. This is going to be another 1 to maybe 2 kill round in my eyes. It's going to be a very slow match. If you had to pick one comp, Trev, which one would it be?
I think I'd just go with, I think I like Zetas, to be honest with you. I really do. I always like Jean on this map, just able to pepper people down, get your pull, and then, you know, if you manage to have one of the, like the lead or the blue star, which, you know, with Max they probably won't have, forcing the opposition to come into you with your pull is really dangerous when you've got these kind of grass and walls around. I'm just so surprised to see a long-range bounty matchup in this 2026.
I'm just so surprised that, like, you know, Colette not being banned and not picked. I mean, take a screenshot. It's probably the only time it's going to happen this weekend. Wildest. But 3 stars already for Rival and that blue. Getting off to a very, very good start now. Those 3 stars do lie on the head of Beauty Pin. Some good nest egg value. Already on that right-hand side, invested by Toro. So a good break there from the left now, and Rio Hay looking a little bit perilous, now starting to heal up, but so far Zeta are moulding the map and catering to their advantage.
Yeah, it wasn't having the best time on the left-hand side there, so pivots to the right now, and these nest eggs looking dangerous if Batman steps on them. Rio Hay is going to punish, so got to be extremely cautious about that. Utopin doesn't time that phase shift to the best of his abilities and does get hit by the shot. Rio Hay returns to sender and brings Pierce low, but there's a kill in the backlines as Shitampo takes down Totoro.
Realistically here, just one Jean pull from Suzuku, and the support from that would be enough to be able to turn the tide here, or just land the shots and take down Totoro. And now Zeta have got the lead, and now still in that really aggressive spot, full HP, looking firmly in control.
I mean, this is what I said. Listen, you've got a Jean pull and they're having to push into you. It's a worrying position for the team having to do the aggressing. So, gonna have to be cautious. Shitampo doing a great job on the Brock as well, 4 stars over his head, and a super in hand. Super popping the speed now, eventually getting some aggression going. But I don't think Zeta minds it in the back lines of this Jean pull up. They're gonna kill it.
Like, it's kind of wild that in that period of aggressiveness that Zeta can still pick up kills as easily as that there. 6-3 is still Rival that do need to find 3, but that magic handball is going to seal Ryohei's demise here. And very tough really for Utopin and Victoria to push into this. Zeta hold the back line strong and take yet another game.
Well, if it works, it works. Zeta are definitely making this comp work, to be honest with you. Gene doing a lot there as well. Shitampo and the Brock really solid. And all three of them, they're just, other than the start, they're all just winning the lanes. Like, there was no real, nothing to be scared of from the rival esports side there. Even when they popped the max speed, they actually extended the lead. So, I mean, they're absolutely flying.
The momentum really is on their side right now. And I need to see a bit more from Rival. I don't want to end today feeling like Rival just kind of got a lucky win over CR based upon Damien. Now, I want to see some back and forth realistically from them, because they've made it this far, and it's a massive result for them, but to kind of be so outmatched, it's kind of hard to see here, but for Zeta, they look really quite comfy. So far, Blue Star with Rival Esports, so that's definitely a good start. They can't go too overly aggressive here. Some good foundation, some good positioning power here, but they think that Gene in terms of win.
I mean, I think swaps in terms of lanes was needed. You see the fail over the left-hand side with the nest egg there, and Max actually the one aggressing quite far over the map. Suki ran the back, keeping Rio hit low, and Batman trying to find a few of these hoping pellets towards him, but they're in a great position, Zeta here, just playing left to right, but they're quite far in the bottom of this swarm there. Suki coming through, still returns to sender, but that's wasted now, and Suki can surely take advantage. Eventual Spirit not finding it, and neither of the pellets either.
Batman's popping off. Those shots were just narrowly missing two players at once. But now Zeta do secure it. Honestly, but what a pull! We couldn't see where it landed, but I know from the sound alone that is the cusp of the range, people. Unreal. Batman though way out of position here, but duking until that final Nandy shot, which secures it. And actually, now Rival have the lead with that Blue Star.
Yeah, well, when you can't see where the end of the pull is, you know it's a good pull. That's the bottom line. Batman needs to make up for those overextending mistakes here, and Shitampo is going to be marked as well, so has to be cautious with the Max, who can just come straight towards him and get the kill. Suki pushing forwards now, trying to pinch in on YouTube in here, but trips a nest egg. Vengeful Spirit trying to keep himself alive, and actually, they don't punish it.
Will allow some valuable healing time. He gets popped! That's massive! And already Zeta in the mid, they've got so much space between themselves, Tora and Utopin. They just walk back despite the bell mark and despite a magic hand to nowhere. Zeta have got everywhere to go. And it's another set, 2-0. Rival Esports left in the dust.
I mean, what a performance that was, really. They just waited for the moment. Yes, they overextended a couple times. Yes, they handed over some pretty pointless stars early in game one, and there was Batman on the pier staying a little bit too long on the right-hand side in the second. But they always just made up for it so perfectly, and Batman may have gave the stars over in the lead, but then he just as quickly returned it with two.
This is the concerning prospect, isn't it? Like, Zeta are not playing perfectly, not by a long shot. They're making mistakes, and they're not looking their top form. They're still making this match look easy. It is the grand final, but it doesn't feel like Rival were necessarily maybe preparing to be in this position. But they are, and they've got to try to survive, to float. Right now, they're sinking.
To be fair, the preparation goes both ways. Rival didn't really prepare for the grand final, but we do have map draft now, so that doesn't really matter too much. And Zeta Division also didn't prepare to face Rival in the grand finals, I'd assume. They're just playing better, and so far, two maps, for me at least, they also have the better draft, right? They're reacting to what Rival is showing them, and Rival's comp makes sense in itself, but it's not really reacting to what we see on the right-hand side. It gets countered out easily with that last pick of Gene. The Nani didn't really work out either, even though that would have been, in theory, a good answer to the Brock and the Pierce. In the end, Zeta Division is brilliant today, not also in mechanics, which is what we usually talk about in this team, but also in their draft. Is it going to be a 3-0? I hope not, because today has been the day of close matches.
I'm just looking at the monitor, I see Ark looking into the camera saying yes. So I'm assuming so as well, to be honest with you. Like you said, I don't think their drafts have been bad. I think if you look at their drafts without looking at their opponent's draft, you'll be like, oh, that's pretty decent for the map. It's not bad. It'll do something. But as you said, they're just not reacting to what Zeta are doing. They're not doesn't seem like they're in the know about what Zeta are going to pick either. And I'm sure that comes down to not expecting to be in the finals. They probably put all their preparation into, firstly, the quarters, and then I don't think they'd have expected as much as hopeful as they would have been. I don't know if they'll have really expected to get past CR.
That's my assessment. I think they just spent so much time preparing their drafts for the opposition. They were not expecting Zeta, but the other side of the bracket to be their opposition.
But Penalpat is going to be Rival Esports' pick here, so they wanted to play this map. Now, it didn't work out in set 1. Maybe for this one they have a better game plan. And they also get the first pick here. What they usually like to play is Poco once again. It didn't work out, you know. Let's see if we're going to see him again. Mo is one of these bowlers that has been showing up quite often today. He's left open. And then we also have Naja once again sliding through the global and the regular bands. That is always a good option on a map like this one. Not the best bowler on roll ball. We discussed that earlier. It still has some value. Otis, just a safe, secure pick. I hope the nerves aren't getting to him.
Yeah, two quick picks here. Confidence coming out of Zeta Division, wanting to get this one done fast. Ems and Kenji are their two picks, so I like that a lot. I think Kenji itself is really solid. Ems, Brawler can cover so many of the bushes on this map, so I do quite like that as well. And also, so many walls to hide behind. Use your supers, knockbacks, ready for the aggression that I'm sure will inevitably come out of Rival at some point, just because.
Yeah, I like that from Zeta though. Just snap up your 1 or 2 picks real quick, and then just allow Rival to be under pressure to think things through. BB, not the biggest of fans of BB. Certainly now with Buffies, she's been elevated, no doubt about it. But I mean, roles like Kenji are definitely my go-to when you're not kind of able to consider other kind of like tanky brawlers. I mean, what was a terrible shout, but I mean, Ems is quite suppressive in that regard. You know, I just think that Ems, Kenji, there's nothing to not like about that right-hand side, but there's some question marks for me on the left.
I was saying Rival Esports is really good at enabling their own comp. Now, what do they pick to enable the BB? A Meg, which is good in itself, once again on pinhole buns, but I don't know if this comp is going to work out. Definitely Otis catered towards the Kenji, but that is really the only really solid pick I see from them. I agree with you, Art. I don't know BB. Meg is okay. We haven't seen her in a while though, and now Naja coming out of Zeta Division. Now let me read the top 3 most picked, highest win rate brawlers of Zeta Division. Naja, Kenji, and Ems, and they got all 3 of them. They got exactly what they wanted.
Meg out of Meg can't even handle the danger needle. First put that out there. Like, I mean, Naja's the perfect answer to this, and I just don't know. This BB's going to have to prove.
So bottom line, I think what we're saying is we don't really like Rival's comp.
That would be a fair assessment.
And we quite like Zeta's comp, yeah?
But we're not always running up for this.
Yeah, well, Kenji on the left-hand side, here's Stampo with the super already, and this is what I was talking about behind him.
I'm back.
Should we just wrap this one up? Are we needed? I know this. Can we call it a day now? That should not be happening. It should not be happening. And that's not even a draft. That's just your mechanics on the day. You can't be letting those in.
I mean, they were slowed by the M Super, to be fair, but I just find it quite funny that the ball just trickled in as they were just stood there watching it. Shampoo, as I said, behind those walls is just going to be dangerous when the Super's available. Here's the hyper charge coming through from YouTube, and he didn't even get a kill. And there's a good kill from Suzuki as well, just keeping his teammate in the mix. There's Super over the top as well. This is just brutal to watch. Super can surely wall this one in, dashed onto the ball. And that's match point.
Yeah, that's...
And you can see how much they're enjoying themselves as well. Like, usually they would just be like locked in, ready for the next game, but they're just smiling, looking across the room. And
they're chilling.
This feels so over.
It does sit that way. I would like to hope that there is still something left in the tank for Rival Esports, but it's tough to enjoy what I'm seeing in terms of their draft on screen. I feel like Zeta have come in better prepared in their draft sense. Can it be done? Yes. Do I think it will be done? I don't know.
Well, this is surely going to be a goal and a walk here. Suzuki trying to get back, but Ryohei finds a goal, and that is what we need to see. An early start from Rival, get something on the board, and then they can even just play defense now if they want to.
I suggest that they probably do consider it. Oh, that's a badly timed hyper charge there on the Meg. That swipe there going to do nothing to Suzuki. All there to Ryohei, off the line by Shampo, swipes. Pretty good to be fair, the support was still there. The little P shooter, Bute's been doing something. Bute as well. He's always back in Meg. I suggest just go back in it down before he dies, but healing up is good as well. I mean, ultimately, I think Rival are looking a little bit better, but what I'm seeing, it just could be a little bit too little too late.
I mean, they've got a goal. It's not quite over yet. Naji going to throw out these vases, and the Snakes to follow, try and get some burn damage along the way. Suzuki going to go straight for Satoru, who I don't think is going to burn down, but just about does, but Kenji goes down with him as well. His Batman on the right hand side against YouTube, but I'm sure he's just going to try and keep control here. Doesn't need to really force anything in this matchup where it's not going to favour him in a 1v1. But holding the mid, YouTube has done well there.
Yeah, he's been pushing himself back a little bit. Very struggling with the Naja. Down there. Batman on the right hand side just find the hypercharge. But Toro falls now is the perfect time to strike realistically here. They just use their utility. Just having a look at these hypercharge, being preserving of it. I don't mind it at all. As Suku is there in position for the ball, gets the pass through and secures it.
One more needed for Zeta Division to win this monthly final. Hypercharge, as you said, still in the pocket of Shitabu's going to use it now. Gets the slow onto Rio here on the right hand side, but he just about sneaks out of it. Suku pushing the ball down the left hand side. Toro going to be caught by a few shots of the Naja here. There's the snake to it through ball towards the goal, but not quite. As Rio Hale run this one up the pitch and try and clear it out.
So close for Zeta, but you can smell it. It's definitely on the horizon here as we approach potentially an overtime scenario. 20 seconds on the clock. They just want to hold their spot, ensure the utility. See the aggressiveness there because Suzuki's on the hypercharge here as well and secures well actually find anything with it. Doing well, you've been trying to find something to be able to at least provide some space because going into overtime that was looking so dangerous.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was really going to be able to run that one all the way, to be honest. I'm surprised Zeta let him get the ball out to Toro so low. Naja needs to deal with him. Kenji tries to do it with a left rest. 3v1 situation. Yuzuka the only one defending. Super used on Shitambo, but it's all the way to the left-hand side. And Zeta Division are the champions of this monthly final.
Well, that's it. Expected. Wait, Zeta Division wins it.
Very solid stuff from Zeta Division then, who are going to be dominating our leaderboard here today. Yeah, they really came prepared. I mean, it wasn't necessarily the grand finals I was expecting, and I wanted to see rivalries was bring more to the table. But nevertheless, now the storyline in this region is really a focus on CR, not the team that won the monthly vote, but the team that are now behind on that leaderboard. And kind of could be scrutinised by others that will be up and coming. I mean, disappointment for CR today, and certainly for rivalries, because I would love for nothing more than to see the top two not really kind of capitalise down on what is a 1.5 times points multiplier that is in stage for this split of the season. But as they said, it was child's play. They just looked so confident and really on top form today.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just rival just showing up and not really having the best final. I don't think they were prepared to be here, and I think they're probably going to be happy with second place, to be honest, if you get some points to the board and try and get ahead of the teams who are currently ahead of them to fight for that LCQ spot. But it was just super anticlimactic. Rival weren't here to play in the grand finals in State Division, as always. They're going to be.
I do think they can thank Rival Esports still, because against Crazy Raccoon, this would have been a lot closer. I'm sure about it. Zeta Division has been looking super strong today. This is still one of the only 3-0s we get to see of today. Every single match has been super close. It is a bit anticlimactic to just see a 3-0 in the grand finals, but hey, we're still here for it. Zeta Division, they win another grand final, and they're now standing at the top of the leaderboard here in East Asia.
I mean, I think Zeta Division could thank Crazy Raccoon, honestly, because they were the ones that did pan the Damien. I mean, like, you know, it was kind of like Crazy Raccoon sealing their own demise.
They got themselves to blame.
We asked ourselves the question going into the grand finals too, you know, was it that Damien was really different to make it for a rival in that semi-finals or not? And I think we have our answer now, to be completely honest. I want to see rival to go back to the way of